What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the weekly wrap-up report. As always, this is not financial advice, just my own news reporting show for entertainment value. If you learn something new, give it a like. That is the entire point. But this week's a little, a unique episode. I'm not my normal setup in my studio. Wink, wink studio. I'm on vacation with the family, so we're going to be doing this one from the car for the first time. But this week was insane. First, let me start you off with how my week started. For Mother's Day, we went over to my in-laws' house, and my wife's twin sister is building a house behind them. And they just dug out the whole foundation, so there's all fresh dirt everywhere. So, of course, having a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, they want to go play on the dirt hills. Growing up on a farm, I have always looked for arrowheads. At every time, wherever I'm walking, if I'm in a field, I am looking down, looking for arrowheads. Because I used to do this as a kid for days with my dad. They would plow the field that night after a rain. We'd go out and just look for hours. I found one my entire life. My dad has found hundreds. He even found a necklace, which was very cool. But the one I had found was pretty cool. It was white with like a red tip. Looked like there was blood on it from over, hundreds of years. Well, the first day I take my son, I'm like, Luca, let's go look for arrowheads. We're on the top of the dirt hill. And what do we find? We found one. We found an arrowhead. Our first day finding it. And I told him how we took a video. I'll post it. I don't have it with me or else I would show you, but I was telling him, Luca, this is like so important. This is such a great thing that we just found. This is from hundreds of years ago. So he's like, Dad, I'll take care of it. I'll be extra careful with it. He loses it. He was so careful, he had to put it in some special spot where he forgot that he put it. And I had everyone at the house looking for it. We found it, obviously. It was like under a chair in the back corner. He's like, I had to hide it in a good spot. Oh, man, I love that kid. But anyway, super cool moment. So like history, change happens quick. Imagine, Indians with arrowheads, and now we're using drone technology, right? So what if everybody's waiting for this special day where change happens and AI just takes over the world? But what if change that everyone's waiting for is already happening? There won't be banners in the sky saying the world is changing. It's happening one day at a time right in front of your eyes. So wake up, think for yourself, hold money that nobody can print, and reprice your future. This week was filled with some crazy political news if you live in America, so I have to fly through this. This was a huge week for the future of America. Sunday, Trump tweeted, "My next truth will be one of the most important and impactful I've ever issued." He went on to say, "We are lowering pharmaceutical drug costs," which has been the insane issue. If you've watched the wrap-up report over the years, I complained when my mom got sick with cancer and what she went through, and seeing the system and how messed up it is and delayed and just broken. And yet we pay the most in the world for healthcare. I report on it, and I've been reporting on it. So when I heard this news, this is truly one of the biggest announcements he's ever made. I'm going to read the whole post just so you understand. For many years, the world has wondered why prescription drugs and pharmaceuticals in the United States of America were so much higher in price than they were in any other nation, sometimes being 5 to 10 times more expensive than the same drug manufactured in the exact same laboratory or plant by the same company. Exact same thing. It was always difficult to explain and very embarrassing because, in fact, there was no correct or rightful answer. The pharmaceutical and drug companies would say for years that it was research and development costs, and that all these costs were and would be for no reason whatsoever borne on the suckers of America alone. Campaign contributions can do wonders, but not with me and not with the Republican Party. We are going to do the right thing, something that the Democrats have fought for many years. Therefore, I am pleased to announce that tomorrow morning in the White House at 9 o'clock, I will be signing one of the most consequential executive orders in our country's history. Prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced almost immediately by 30 to 80%. They will rise throughout the world in order to equalize, and for the first time in many years, bring fairness to America. It will be instituting a most favored nations policy, whereby the United States will pay the same price as the nation that pays the lowest price anywhere in the world. Our country will finally be treated fairly, and our citizens' healthcare costs will be reduced by numbers never even thought of before. Additionally, on top of everything else, the United States will save trillions of dollars. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. How insane is that? If you have a family member that's ever been sick or has dealt with a surgery, an unexpected injury, you understand the burden of healthcare costs. Like when you could work your entire life, once you get sick in America, all your money is gone, and you have one dream, just to get healthy again. But sadly, you're not only getting sick, but you get poor in the process, so that we can pay pharmaceutical administrative costs for them to tell you no. It's crazy. So this is huge. I'll keep you updated on how this goes, but big change in America. Also this week, the U.S. and China have reached a trade agreement on a 90-day pause. The U.S. will cut tariffs on Chinese goods to 30%. So it was 145%. It will go down to 30% for 90 days, while China will lower its levies from 125% down to 10% for 90 days, according to U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent. So again, this is a huge moment. The two mega superpowers in the world working together to reestablish trade guidelines, and gives us a pause. So 3 months, the market rallied at this news, and we'll see where it goes. Doge released some pretty insane stats, and look, this isn't a political show, but facts are facts. Doge announced that when Kamala Harris lost the election, Biden began sending Democrat-aligned NGOs and companies $1.3 billion per day, almost $100 billion before Trump took office. In the prior 15 years, the same loan office gave out just $40 billion, just $8 million a day. So it went from doing $8 million a day to, after November 5th, to $1.3 billion a day to Democratic NGOs, non-government organizations. Thank God this stuff's getting exposed. It's insane. This was theft on a scale the world has never seen before, and Trump needs to claw back the money. So that's, again, Doge is finding all this stuff, and we're being aware where our tax dollars are going. And another thing that happened this week, America, basically the entire cabinet did a Saudi, United Emirates tour, where the president, Sheikh Mohammed, awards U.S. President Trump the Order of Zayed, which is the UAE's highest civilian honor. I watched a lot of the videos that came out of there. They are going to invest $1.4 trillion in the United States over the next 10 years. And from what I hear, the technology they have over there, and the building and the architecture is, and the manufacturing is nothing like we have yet in America. But if we build these state-of-the-art factories, we are the hottest place in the world, as Trump likes to say. But let's get into the Bitcoin news of the week. I'm sorry for the political stuff, but this was a major week with 3 major things happening. A New York business professor, Scott Galloway, says the facts: the average 70-year-old is 72% wealthier than they were 40 years ago. And those under 40 are 24% less wealthy. Every major policy is a wealth transfer from the young to the old. This generation is being robbed in slow motion, and Bitcoin is the exit. You know why Bitcoin is the exit? Bitcoin has no counterparty risk, no company risk, no country risk, no creditor risk, no currency risk, no competitor risk, no dilution risk, no earnings risk, no bank run risk, no trade war risk, no tariff risk, no supply chain risk, no management risk, no counterparty risk, no accounting fraud risk, no debasement risk, no censorship risk, no pandemic risk, no seizure risk, no liquidity risk, no jurisdictional risk, and no political risk. As I always say, there is no risk with Bitcoin. It is the only thing in the world that you can understand fully, completely, 100% what is happening with it every single day. There is no risk to Bitcoin. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you start to reprice your future and your time. If you could have dollar cost averaged $50 a week since 2018 into gold or Bitcoin, this would have been the results. So let's say you bought every day, the same time each week, and you would have purchased $50 a week for a total of $17,950 over 359 weeks, which is a little bit less than 7 weeks. If you had vested that $17,900 into gold, you would have $27,325. So you would have made a little under $10,000, or about 70% on your money over 7 years. So about 10% a year. Now, if you would have invested that same $50 into Bitcoin, you would have $122,513 instead of only $27,000. So almost $100,000 different over the same 7-year time frame. And still, less than 1% of the world has adopted this new protocol level of money. So when you understand how early you are, do not think about the price of Bitcoin tomorrow. Think of the price of Bitcoin in 4 years, in 10 years, in 20 years, what you will have done for your family. Eric Trump, I hear from sovereign wealth funds, the wealthiest families and the biggest companies, it's a race to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. And I promise you, America is going to beat them in that marathon. It's coming. It's coming. Coin becomes the first true crypto company to enter the S&P 500. The inclusion announcement was made this week, and the price moved up 26% on the day. And then a couple days later, the same week, hackers are now demanded $20 million in Bitcoin from Coinbase, threatening to leak customer data. CEO Brian Armstrong says they won't pay and are offering a $20 million reward instead of paying their $20 million ransom for info leading to the attacker's arrest. So they came out and saying there was less than 1% of Coinbase users' information that was taken by scammers through an employee that worked in another country, a weak link they call it. And they're doing everything they can to remedy this issue. But as always, that's the risk. That there's always a risk. So you want to self-custody your crypto when you can. But let's talk about Bitcoin Treasury companies. This does not stop. Strive Asset Manager, founded by Vivek Ramaswamy, run by CEO Cole Marco, Swan CEO Ben Workman, and punter Jeff of MSTR True North are all on the board. So I had bought at ASST, that's Strive Asset Management, and made like $2,000 in an hour. It was like one of the first ones to announce. And they were announcing that they were going to come in with $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. And their company is still, around a $90 million market cap. So in my mind, that's got a 10x, right? So when I saw punter Jeff, I love punter Jeff. So I'm a huge MicroStrategy True North guy. I'm a MicroStrategy guy. And, punter Jeff breaks every video down so well. When I saw him was on the board, I bought back on Friday because I was like, what's Bitcoin going to do over the weekend? Let's see. I think we're going up. Let's see what it looks like. And I got like 626 or 622, something like that. $6. Bitcoin Magazine, the parent company of Bitcoin Inc. announces David Bailey has a SPAC coming out. I forget what this one was called. I bought it too. Whatever. All these Bitcoin treasuries with billions of dollars. This one's going to have $300 million of equity earmarked. They're looking to become the strategy to bring companies in different countries to Bitcoin through their company by owning their stock. But let's talk about MicroStrategy. On Monday, they announced they acquired 13,390 Bitcoin for $1.34 billion. So even if that new company, AST, announces they have $1 billion of Bitcoin, MicroStrategy buys that weekly. They just bought 1.34 billion. And they've achieved a Bitcoin yield of 15.5% year to date. So that was their goal, 15% over the whole year to shareholders, and they reached that in month 5. So cool. They hodled 568,840 Bitcoin. The last time the price of MicroStrategy was $420, the company held 50% less Bitcoin. Now with 100% more Bitcoin and Bitcoin backed at 105,000, MicroStrategy is still at $420. So people are saying, because he's diluting you, he's just printing stock every single day. Listen to what I just said. In a matter of 6 months, they have added 100% more Bitcoin, and their stock price is the same. You didn't lose money over 6 months. And they gained 100% more Bitcoin than they held before. Nobody understands this yet. Just wait. Michael Saylor is in control of the MSTR price. And his goal is to send MSTR to the moon. So when you understand this, it is a waiting game. Appreciate him. You got 6 months to stack more at this price. It's a blessing. 14 U.S. states have reported 632 million in MicroStrategy exposure for Q1. This collection increased by 302 million in only 1 quarter. So that's an average increased holding size of 44% from Q4 to Q1. Steak and Shake is now making Bitcoin branded burgers available at all locations on Friday, for their customers. And they're excited to announce that Bitcoin Magazine now has a hard press pass to the White House, and he'll be reporting from the office more regularly. So we have a Bitcoin Magazine representative as a White House reporter. Pretty exciting. And White House tells Fox News it's optimistic Bitcoin regulation will be passed by August. 3 months. Elon. I got to talk about Elon this week real quick. 3 major things happened with Elon. Elon was also in Saudi Arabia. AI could lead to a universal high income or a Terminator future. Sometimes in AI, they talk about universal basic income. I think it's actually going to be universal high income, where anyone can have any good or service that they want. There's obviously some risks, which illustrate perhaps if you don't do this right, you could have a James Cameron sort of movie Terminator. But having a Star Trek future would be great, where we're out there exploring the stars, discovering the nature of the universe, and a level of prosperity and hopefully happiness that we can't quite imagine yet. So, we can work with the robots, or the robots turn on us and we have to hide from them and battle them. Obviously, let's go Elon. Elon Musk confirms Tesla Optimus robots are fully operational. It's not a prototype, not CGI. They posted a video of the robot dancing in all these different ways, jumping on 1 foot, 2 feet, moving like a human. They walk around the office 24/7. No one even watches them. They can charge themselves. Welcome to the future. One of the last thing, Elon's tunnel company just hit a robot digging milestone. No human needed except the guy with the camera. The boring company just mined an entire tunnel section without a single person inside the machine, unless you count the videographer tagging along for the video. This robot beast digs forward and builds the tunnel as it goes, dropping 24,000-pound rings like it's stacking Legos for giants. They're calling it ZPIT, 0 people in tunnel. And yeah, it's basically the rocket reusability moment, but for dirt. Digging holes has never looked so high tech. I don't know if you've seen the video of this thing, but it is awesome. It is just literally tunneling under the ground, building usable tunnels that solve traffic. Instead of having one road, we can have 6 roads over top of each other. Imagine no more traffic, no more driving. You get all that time back. You get all that time back. All that time back in your life. It would be amazing. And the Republican tax bill is trying to pass the MAGA accounts for American children. The money account for growth and advancement is what they're calling it. The money account for growth and advancement, MAGA, is a tax-preferred savings vehicle, includes a pilot program to start the accounts with $1,000 each. So imagine every American that was born, America gifted them $1,000. That was either time locked or specifically locked for a reason, till a moment in their life where they can access it. And then automatically when they turn 18, they got like $100,000 or $1 million under their name from the government. It'd be pretty awesome. And the last mind-bending news of the week. Scientists at CERN's Large Hadron Collider have successfully transformed lead into gold atoms, achieving an ancient alchemist's dream through modern physics. Did they just create gold? Now look, nobody's saying it's cost effective. It's going to beat out digging of gold. But theoretically, on mass scale, if they get that cost down, can they create gold out of thin air? I'd be buying lead. But as always, that was the weekly news. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys in the chats. Oh, actually, big Hoge announcement. I'll talk about that next week. See you.